Hi, it's Michelle from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and today I'm excited to introduce you to our Core'dinations Sandable line. This is 33 colors of Sandable cardstock, and it's 80-pound weight paper, so it's nice and thick, and it does have kind of that canvas texture, so it's really good quality cardstock. Just on the surface, this looks like just basic cardstock. It's the same color on both sides, so this one is a cardinal red, and you can see you got red on the textured side and red on the smooth side. So that's kind of the deceptive part, because it does have something cool hidden inside. So you will notice that on the bottom of each sheet there's kind of a contrasting color printed. This is actually the color of the core. So some cardstock has a white core, and you'll see that white core when you sand it, or when you like tear it, you'll see the edge is white. Most of the cardstock we sell has a solid core, so that when you tear it or cut it, you're not seeing that white edge. That's kind of, I guess, a signal of quality cardstock, is that the color goes all the way through. But this cardstock, they've purposely changed the core color, and let me show you why. When you sand it or distress it in any way, you get this lighter color. So watch what happens here. You can see that as the top surface layer is removed, you're starting to see that other color underneath. So this is really cool cardstock for that kind of distressed vintage look. It's got some really cool colors combined together to make awesome aged and distressed looks. Okay, so I wanted to show you a few ideas for using this paper. So there's the basic ones, which, like I showed you, if you just tear it, then the lighter color will show through on the edges. And the papers all have a different color in the core. So it's usually like a lighter version of what the paper is. There's some exceptions to that, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can see what the color is that will be revealed based on what's on the bottom. So that's the first idea, is just to tear it. And then there is sanding. I showed you how you can sand across the middle of it, but you can also sand the edges and distress just the edges. So this kind of looks almost like you've inked the edges. See how that just kind of picks up? Looks like it's inked around the corner, but it's got a nice vintage vibe. Now this sanding sponge, I actually grabbed this at the dollar store. This is what it looks like, but it's just got sanding on all the sides. There's some like finer on one side and then thicker, more coarse on other sides. So dollar store, that's a great find. All right, so that's the other idea, that you use your sanding to just kind of give it the inked edge look. And then a few more ideas. So you can emboss. So I've embossed thank you here. And then you can use your sanding and just, you want to do this really lightly. And actually, let me use the other side, because I sanded pink first. So you do this really lightly over the embossing, and it makes your embossing show up. And you can kind of keep going as much as you want. You just want to have a really light hand on this so that it shows up. You do get kind of crumbs left behind, but such a cool look. It makes your embossing really stand out. So I've done it on a sentiment here. You can also do it on like a large background. So here's a polka dot cut out, and I did the same thing here. I just sanded the polka dots like that. And then another thing that's cool is you can sand the debossed side. So you can see I did that here. This is the debossed side, and I just sanded it, which makes the polka dots stand out more. A couple more ideas. Here's another one. I embossed these clocks, and this one has a white core, black with white core. So I can just really gently bring out those clocks. And you want to just kind of start out as gentle as you can till you get the feel of it. So super cool, really kind of vintage distressed look that's easy to do with just cardstock and an embossing folder. Okay, And then one more idea is to actually sand your cut out embossing. So this is just a little flower, and I can just really carefully sand around the edges. And through the magic of television, this is what it looks like in a different color, but you can see how it starts to kind of pick up the different color on the edges and make it look inked and kind of distressed. So those are some fun ideas. I did make a completed card using some of these techniques. So here I have a honeycomb embossed background, and I did the sanding on the debossed side, so I picked up the honeycomb. I did the tearing, and I distressed along the black as well. And then I distressed, it's hard to tell because it's a light color, but I distressed along here too. So just some fun ideas, kind of play with it and see what ideas you can come up with. Makes for some unique character to your projects. Okay, and then I said before that there were a couple papers that were a little bit different, didn't follow the same kind of pattern. So there's two that are in the vintage collection. This is Starry Night. Actually, I'm backwards. This is Antiqua, and this is Starry Night. And these already have a texture on them. So it's kind of a black with a grayish overlay, and then this one is a blue with a darker blue. And you can see, like, this is the color of the paper, and then it's got this darker wash on it. And when you tear it, it's the lighter color. So the core matches the back, if that makes sense, but then it's got this overlay. So those are kind of fun because you don't really have to sand them. They just kind of have a cool, it's almost like denim. Like I would say blue and black denim has kind of a cool design. And then these two are part of the whitewash collection. And this is Window Pane is this black one with the white overlay, and this is Grandpa's Trunk. So Window Pane is actually black cardstock with a white overlay. So when it's torn, you're going to get that black center, and when it's sanded, let's see what happens when it's sanded. Yeah, it's just getting more black, so you're losing that top coat. And then this one, this Grandpa's Trunk, is actually kind of a taupish brown on the back, and then you have kind of a cream whitewash on it. So same thing, when it's torn, you're going to get this darker brown color. So those are a couple exceptions to what I told you about how these work. Just some fun additions. So I hope you'll check this out. Grab it in the store. We've got all the colors. One of them's back ordered, but they're all going to be in soon. And it's really fun. We can't wait to see what you make with it. Grab it all at 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop.